Hello traders, today is Tuesday, December 10th, 2024. Keep in mind, this content is not financial advice, it's for educational purposes only. Do your own research before you decide to risk any of your capital in any type of investments. Let's start this video with AFRM. And, as I mentioned yesterday, there is a little bit of weakness in general terms in the market, which is not bad in my opinion. I don't see a bearish sentiment. I just see a little bit of pullback in a lot of names, and there's a lot of setups that look pretty intriguing to the downside, to be honest. I personally want to keep trading to the upside, but and for that reason, I just want to give the market a little bit of time, and I want to see what new setups are coming up next. A firm is looking, as you can see on the MACD and the TSI on the candles themselves, like it's going down towards 61. This level, in my opinion, of support is a little bit weak, and I wouldn't be surprised if we continue going down towards the 35 SMA. MACD and TSI are already pointing down, crossing the signal lines in both cases, and the RSI is already on its way towards 50, which is fine. One other thing that is a little bit concerning as far as what we're seeing here is that you have a lack of liquidity all the way to 55. Anyways, I wouldn't be too worried about what is happening. I think a pullback towards 55 would be fantastic, because then that gives you, or towards that 35 SMA, that, I think that would give you an opportunity to get back in. I am a swing trader and a day trader, so I'm not looking or doing any type of analysis for long-term investments. So if you're looking for that, this is the wrong channel for you. You should go somewhere else. But anyways, I just want to wait for a nice setup and see if I can actually buy some calls at some point, either at 61 or 55 or somewhere around the 35 SMA. For that reason, that needs a little of more time. Your levels right now, as far as what I have on my chart, are 71 as resistance, and then you have 61.6 for support, and also a 35 SMA. Once you get towards the 61 key level, the 35 SMA is going to be close enough. These indicators are probably going to be much closer to the zero line as we get to this point, and they are probably going to have more divergence between let's say the MACD line and the signal line. Anyways, that's what I have for a firm. Keep an eye on 61 as support, and let's move on to name that I mentioned yesterday as well, and that is AMD. One of the things that I put on X this morning was we're probably going to hit 121. I mentioned in prior videos that if you are not able to keep this level of support at 134, you're probably going to go down straight to 121. I think that is what is happening right now. Today it was down 2.39%, and I think we're probably going to continue seeing this. MACD and TSI are not losing any momentum to the downside. Actually, they're picking up momentum to the downside, and the RSI is not even oversold right now. So there is definitely room to go towards 121, I'm sorry, or 122. And there is very low liquidity in this area as well. We're gonna hit, if we go to 121, we're hitting the same level as we had on August 5th. And then I guess if we get to 121 and we keep this support level, we might get a nice opportunity to go to the upside on AMD. But this needs a little bit more of time. Now, let's keep an eye. You have 121. I would be very surprised if you go down towards 119 or 112. For now, our support level is 121, and there might be an opportunity there on a retest on this level. And then if you break 134 at that point, then there might be opportunity to the upside. But for now, things are not looking good for AMD. I think my price target right now to the downside is 121, which is support. Let's move on to a name that I haven't mentioned in a while, and that is CAVA. And check this. Okay. Going back down to support at 127. I'm not surprised. Now let's go to the 5 minute and see how it behaved. You pretty much touched it on one of the last candles and then came a little bit back up. Key levels really work. You can actually see how precise this, and I didn't do anything special other than use this level right here. There was prior highs at one point back in August, and then this turned into resistance. Then you came back to this level, resistance again, support, resistance, and I guess you get it. Now we broke under the 35 SMA, which was a pretty good indicator of support throughout this run right here. We broke that yesterday, and now we are at support. Now, in my opinion, well, this is a fact, this company is overvalued, and we'll see if buyers come back in, but I think it's not, I guess, a bad indication that this is going down, because fundamentally speaking, the price of the stock and the value of the company don't really match very well. That being said, I think we have more room to continue going towards 110. We'll see how strong the support level at 127 is. If we break 127, which is this right here, we're definitely, well, I shouldn't say definitely, but it's very possible that if we break this volume shelf right here, we're probably going to go down straight towards 110 and probably fill this gap right here that was open back in August, right after earnings in August. That being said, MACD, TSI are also looking bearish. RSI is looking bearish as well. So that's also another indication for you that we are actually at a very critical support level. So keep an eye on 127. If we break that and go under this level, which is this volume shelf right here, you're probably going to feel this gap. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Now let's move on to, where else do I have? I did make a post on X for coin, and there's two things, and you can call me crazy if you want to, but you have this level right here. You also have a double top. You also have range between this, and you also have what I always mention, which is the dependency on of Bitcoin's price action. So I do believe that if Bitcoin actually goes back to 100, this double top area right here would be completely invalidated. You're probably going to break 342 or 343 and then continue going up. That being said, if Bitcoin sells off, or actually continues to go down a little bit between today and then maybe tomorrow and the following day, you're probably going to hit 170, actually 280. And if that is the case, you're probably going to go towards a 35 SMA and then continue going towards 235. Now, one of the things that I find difficult, at least for me, trading Bitcoin is what I just mentioned, which is the dependency that we have with Bitcoin. So some of these setups get invalidated very quickly, considering the fact that Bitcoin tends to react very strongly to whatever happens with Bitcoin most of the times. But also you see some sort of consistency in some indicators, like the 325 SMA right here was pretty spot on. And then you have some levels as well, so you form levels and whatnot. So keep those things in mind. But I think we have to see what's going on with Bitcoin in the next few days, and if Bitcoin actually comes down towards 91 or 92, and if it breaks a level, or if it breaks a 35 SMA and then goes towards 92, then you might have an issue, and then coin might get a hit as well. Today was down 2.61%. For now, we are in range. I think that if we retest this, if everything goes fine with, let's say, if you have another red day, you retest 280 and then continue going up, and Bitcoin also is steady and is, slowly moving up or whatnot, I think we might have a beautiful setup here for Coinbase. So for now, keep an eye on 343 as resistance and 280 for support. Let's move on to, I think I mentioned this name yesterday. I didn't. Wow. Oh, I mentioned that last week. So I mentioned, if I can find EA last week, I think it was on the 6th. So that is, what was that? Friday, I believe. Yeah, on Friday. So we were here. And what I was saying is I like seeing this type of setups. Now you can also argue, well, you might be seeing a double top. That is very possible too. But if we retest the support level at 163, it's 162.89, but let's say 163. If you test this and then come back towards 168, then we can argue that if we break 168.5, then we're going to see another leg up. I like that. For now, I want to see how this behaves. MACD and TSI are looking weak, and I said that on Wednesday as well. So for now, I really want to see what's going on with 162. And if it breaks to the downside, then you're going to encounter the 35 SMA, and you also have no liquidity in this area. So it could get pretty nasty if you break 162. If you retest, that means that these indicators are going to be much lower, closer, not that close, but closer to the zero line, and you might have an opportunity, to continue going up. Let's take a look at the weekly. This is not looking bad, yet the MACD and the TSI are a little bit extended, but look at this. The weekly is not looking bad at all. Let's take a look at the 5-minute. I just want to see how was price action today. You got buyers, sellers, nothing out of the ordinary on a name like this. I still like the 1-day chart, but you might have a double whammy here as far as an opportunity either to go to the downside or upside. If you break the support, which is a neckline, then you're probably going to continue going down. There's an opportunity there to trade. And if you're retesting and going with momentum towards resistance, there might be an opportunity to the upside. This needs some time. I said this on Friday, but I'm just going to keep an eye on this. I have it on my short list because I want to see how this behaves and how this chart looks within the next few days, or maybe by the end of the week. We might, actually, maybe by tomorrow, we might have a better view of what is going to happen with AI. So keep that in mind. Let's move on to Google, and very nice move today, 5.32%. It was due to the news of the quantum computing chips that they're having, which is quite interesting. But I mentioned yesterday and before, or in other videos, I had some calls that I bought right on this area right here. I think it was on this candle. Then we continue going towards the 200 SMA, and look at this beautiful reaction on the 200 SMA, and then we went up very nicely. So I like to highlight gaps. But anyways, this move was beautiful. I did sell my entire position on Google today. Am I doubting that this is actually going to hit all-time high soon? No, but I like to sell on strength. I don't like to hold my calls for very long, and these were January calls, so I was already getting too close, in my opinion, for how I feel comfortable with my options. So I wanted to sell, and my options were high or very, very profitable. So I was like, well, why not? Why not? I think this is probably going to continue going up. We might have some strong resistance at this point right here, but you also have very low liquidity here. So you actually have a good opportunity here to continue going up. But we'll see how this behaves. MACD and TSI are looking beautiful. This is just starting. Like, these lines just cross their signal lines. So we'll see. We'll see. As far as the Magnificent Seven, Google was one of the ones that was lagging a little bit compared to, let's say, Meta or Apple, even Amazon. And now we have Google moving very strongly. Don't be surprised, and maybe you get a little bit of red tomorrow, but then a continuation towards 194. That would be fantastic. But again, I got rid of my position because I don't mind leaving money on the table. I love to secure my protect my capital. Let's put it that way, and get my profits, and then see what's next. Setups come around every single day. Trust me about that. Anyways, Google is looking good. don't be surprised if you go towards all-time highs within the next week or so. Maybe more news about this new technology are gonna come around, and Google is probably gonna continue going up. Yet keep in mind that the Department of Justice is still shadowing Google, so that could come at any point, any time, and anyways, and ruin things for some of you that are going long. But this whole setup right here, especially going over 171 on this resistance level and then mounting the 35 SMA, this was beautiful. Yesterday, when I saw that we were nicely over the 175 level, I knew that this was going to move towards 180. Now, news came in, and then this move came way faster than what I was anticipating, but I took advantage of that. And let me tell you where I got out. I was actually looking at the 1 minute because I wanted to get out pretty quickly. And I was out, I think, right on the top of this area right here. Then the stock actually continued going up, but I was very happy just getting out on this area right here. And it's funny because in the beginning, as soon as I saw that Google was up like 4.5% or something in pre-market, I was like, I'm gonna sell, within the first 5 minutes of trading. So I did wait a little bit just to see this. I wanted to see how this was going to behave. But once I saw this right here, I was like, I just went out, and I did. And then, you had another leg up, and then you had a cool down, and then buyers came back in towards the end of the day. Anyways, let's move on to the next name, and that is HIMS. Let's point this out. Let's point out the obvious. So this setup that I was talking about yesterday obviously is invalidated. I had the hopes that we could have this concentration here. You also had this lowering of volume, at least until yesterday. And so my thesis was like, if we break 35, we're gonna see a nice move to the upside. Now the other thing that I said, let's get rid of this. The other thing that I said was, if we break down, or if we go towards 29.7 and we break the support level, we're probably gonna fill this gap and find ourselves very close to 25.44, 25.50. Well, interestingly enough, we hit this key level right here at 29.7, and we came back perfectly, almost to the cent. Look at this thing. This level is off by like maybe 1 or 2 cents. That is pretty crazy. I was looking at this in the morning, and I was like, if you don't trade with levels, or if you actually don't find supply and demand levels, it makes your trading very difficult. Anyways, you had a 5.35 or 5.4% drop today. I would love to enter and buy some calls, maybe some May. Actually, there is no May calls. I think March calls. Let me take a look, because now I think there is no May calls, or listen. As of what I was looking yesterday, yeah, you go from February straight to May. Yeah, so there's no March or April. So I would buy some May calls if we go down towards 25.5, towards this area right here. That would be fantastic. But this needs a little more time to cool down. If it's going to cool down, we might actually get in range. And also, you can go back into all-time highs again. I mean, this name has been very volatile, and I'm not surprised. I mean, there is a lot of retail expectations from this name, but it's also big investment firms are very interested on this name. So it is very, very volatile. MACD and TSI, if we go more into the technical side of things, are pointing down and are not looking the best. And that's something that I mentioned yesterday as well. So again, if we break 29.79, we're probably going to go down towards the 35 SMA, or even towards 25.50. And there might be an opportunity. Now, let me get rid of this level right here. I don't think we're going back to 13 anytime soon. And let's get rid of 16. And now I think 18 is still in play, believe it or not. But for now, let's keep an eye on this critical support level. It's beautiful how this is working out right here. And as you can tell, there's more and more liquidity coming in this area, which is making this whole setup stronger. Where if we go towards the downside or the upside, the move, I think, is going to be very clear. We're definitely going to have, just like what I said on EA, a little more of context and color out of this setup probably by the end of the day tomorrow. We're going to see if we're going to break support, and then at that point you're going to be like, well, 25 or 25.5 or the 35 SMA look more realistic. Or if you get buyers pushing, then we might actually start betting towards new all-time highs, which I have my doubts right now. I think the market in general is cooling down a little bit, especially maybe this week or maybe towards the end of the year, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm just keeping a close eye on HIMS because I see opportunity here. I just wanna really try my best to nail it as much as I can. Now let's move on to where are you? I mentioned this name as well, INOD, and that was yesterday, and I've been mentioning this quite often lately. And again, it's because of this setup. I love the fact that we are in range. Yes, today this was down 12.26%. Now we'll see what happens here. If you break support, you're probably gonna, forget about the 35 SMA. You're just gonna cut through the 35 SMA and probably go into areas that have some liquidity, which is your next area of liquidity is basically 21.8. So that's what we have now. If this support level actually holds, which is 36.15, and then you continue going towards resistance, then this breakup is going to be very, very nice. Now, another problem that we have, just like what we have in HIMS, the MACD and the TSI are not looking too good. I think EA have the same problem. So at least that side of the story on these indicators are telling you that we are going to continue going down. So keep an eye on that. Your next level of support is 36.15 and the 35 SMA. If you break 35 or 36.16, this level right here, forget about the 35 SMA. You're going to go straight towards 21, or at least fill this gap. Then you have a little bit of liquidity here, but I think you're probably going to go straight towards 21. We'll see. I could be wrong, but we'll see. Everything, I guess this whole setup is, dependent on retesting or, maintaining the support level. If it breaks, it's over. It's just going to go down. Let's move on to the next name, and that is, I had calls for Meta, and I sold them basically right after I sold Google. So today was a very good day. Let's do Microsoft. Microsoft is also looking pretty good. It's maintaining support at 140, 144, 143, and let me take a look at the 5-minute, because I was trading Microsoft yesterday. Well, I sold my position yesterday, but look at this. So you had a very nice start of the day, and then an absolute sell-off. Wow. Towards the end of the day. Okay. We'll see how we behave here. I think you have now this new support level at 431. I wouldn't be worried about 415. It took a while to actually lift off from 415, so I'm not too worried about 415. I mean, this pullback would be like an absolute gift if it comes back towards here. But more realistically speaking, if we're coming down, we're going towards 431, and they're probably going to retest. Now you're going to have a little more liquidity if that is the case in this area, and you might move back towards 145 or 445 and so on. We'll see what we do tomorrow, how things behave tomorrow. But again, I don't have any positions on Microsoft. I'm not rooting for Microsoft to go up or down right now, but I would prefer a continuation to the upside. Now, it wouldn't bother me if we go down towards 431 and then, you know, retest this level and go there, or even if you go lower towards the 35 SMA or the 200 SMA, and you're probably going to rebound at that area as well. So there is opportunity either way for Microsoft. I would be a little bit more cautious going to the upside, but if the setup actually makes sense on the 5 minute or whatnot, I might actually get in and trade Microsoft again. Let's finish this video with NVDA. And to be honest, I think that we're going down towards 131. I mentioned that yesterday, that if we get volume to the downside, 121 is going to be, or 130, I'm sorry, it's going to be your area of support. I think we're gonna get there. And I think like if we get towards 131, there might be an opportunity to go to the upside. I've seen a lot of people, I follow some traders in X, and one in particular, which is somebody I respect a lot. He was saying, I'm buying 145 calls December. I don't know that the expiration date. Let me see what he was saying. I just want to share that with you. Which I thought it was crazy. December 27th. Yeah, December 27th, in 2 weeks. 145 calls, and in my head I'm like, why would you do that? Like, why would you, like, if you want to buy 145, you know, the strike at 145, I mean, go all the way down to maybe April. You know, obviously the contracts are more expensive, but it's less risky. You know, there's less decay, there's less risk, and you know, and just buy less contracts, you know, if you don't have enough capital, or just don't enter on it. Like the way I see things is like, if I want to get in, I would probably wait and see what happens in the next few days. Like, why buying now? Because I see a giant candle right here, and it's not that bad. It's like well, for NVIDIA, it's 2.69%, which is a lot. But I don't know. I just have to look at the chart, and I'm like, well, why? You know, let me fix this really quick. I don't want this. Okay. So why would you do that? But anyways, I mean, you do what you gotta do. You trade the way you want to trade. At the end of the day, you know, what can we do? But I think we're gonna go down towards 130. If we retest, there might be an opportunity here. If we retest, then I would start thinking about buying 140 calls. You know, what can I buy? Yeah, 140 calls for April or maybe May. They're 1,500 right now. So they're not that cheap, but they are safe. Or less risky. I shouldn't say safe. Less risky. You can also go all the way down to May and buy 140s for 1,700. So I would rather buy that, you know, if we hit this level. But I want to see coming down, you know, I want to see the stock price coming down to 130, retest, and then start moving up. So at that point, I will be like, okay, you know, I'm getting in. I just don't understand people that tell their followers, you know, I'm buying now, and maybe you should too. It makes no sense. Just look at the chart, and you know, this sector is looking a little bit weak. I think AVGO didn't have a good day either. NVIDIA, obviously, AMD, you know, so I don't know. I think we are going towards 131 or 130. And then if we break that level, then we definitely, I would just like sit on my hands as far as NVIDIA goes and wait if we're going to hit 117 or not. Anyways, keep an eye on 130. I think we're going to hit that area. You don't have a lot of liquidity here. It's not terrible, but you don't have a lot of liquidity. So you're probably going to go down here. And then if you see a retest, then there might be an opportunity there to get with dated calls. Like I was saying, maybe April or May. I would actually go to May and buy some options there. Anyways, that's all I have, guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. Please subscribe to the channel and like the videos. I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Bye bye.